Welcome to The Bible Goes to Hollywood. I'm your host, Jack Raffanino. On today's episode, we'll be discussing the 1999 movie, Noah's Ark. We have a great panel here today to help us talk about the movie, but first, let's take a quick look at the trailer. Welcome back to The Bible Goes to Hollywood. Now it's time to introduce our panel. First, Joe Swanson is with us today. He is a Catholic Studies professor at Harvard University, and also he is a history liaison to the Vatican. To his left, we have Brian Griffin here with us, all the way from Hollywood, California. Brian is a screenwriter there, and his new movie, Adventure Town, is coming out later this month. Now, to discuss today's topic, Noah's Ark. We'll start with you, Mr. Swanson. How did you feel about the authenticity of the film?
Great question, Jack. Glad you asked it. I thought the authenticity of the film was great from the standpoint that there was a man named Noah, he built an ark, and there was a flood. Other than that, I thought the film was horrific. And let me tell you why. First, the destruction of the towns Sodom and Gomorrah. This happened in the film during Noah's lifetime. But in actuality, this didn't happen until 100, maybe 1,000 years after Noah's life. So I couldn't get past that. Maybe the biggest standout for me was the fact that there were pirates, sword fighting, and traveling salesmen during the flood. Alright? There were not pirates trying to board the ark, and there were not traveling salesmen trying to sell things to the ark. If these people were to be alive at that time, they would have been on the ark, because the only people alive at that time were Noah, the animals, and the people on the ark.
Mr. Griffin, he makes a good point.
Yeah, I obviously really respect his biblical perspective, but you know, growing up, my father always told me, and Jack, he said, always separate your work and faith life, because that can get kind of tricky. And so in the business world, I definitely try to separate that. And so Hollywood, for example, tries to take these plots from biblical stories and kind of twist them to make it better for viewers and kind of add that appeal. So I'd like to agree to disagree, I guess.
Fair enough. Back to you, Mr. Swanson. How do you feel about Hollywood taking these biblical passages and turning them into movies?
Yeah, Jack, I'm really hot and cold on this subject. For one, you have great biblical movies like Cecil B. DeMille's Ten Commandments and Mel Gibson's Passion of the Christ,
Of course.
which do a great job of taking the story from the Bible and putting it on film for the viewers to see. On the other hand, you have Noah's Ark, which does, as we discussed earlier, a horrible job of portraying the story from the Bible with numerous inaccuracies. So I feel like if you're going to do a biblical story, you should do it right so the people watching the film can learn something about the Bible instead of reading about it.
Mr. Griffin, how do you feel about this?
I would say Hollywood is a different take on this question, and I would start by saying that it's a money-making business, and we're there in trying to produce movies for viewers to see and for them to like. So if that means adding a little bit more action or incorporating more through, pirates or swords or fighting or action scenes, that's what we're gonna have to do to get the numbers we want.
He makes a point, and again, I guess we're just going to have to agree to disagree. That's all the time we have on today's show. Make sure to catch us next week as we discuss a new movie. Thank you.